everyone, and happy August. Happy 1st of August, horse's birthday to you all. So thank you for joining us for the monthly homework chat. We got lovely Nat Stitchers is back.
Hello.
Finally got you on a non-working day. Yay! And our regular, the lovely Beth Ann from Stitching in Twilight.
Hello.
So thanks for joining us, and we're going to go a run through of what lovely plans you can do in some of the stitching challenge groups for the month of August. All right, let's start with the biggie, the Daily 30, which did just open up for 40 lucky new members. So if you're one of those 40 lucky new members, then hopefully this will help you in your planning. And if you're one of the other hundreds of people, hopefully it helps too. What have we got, Beth Ann?
August monthly is Olympics, because the Olympics are happening right now in Tokyo. The 32nd Olympiad are currently taking place in Tokyo, Japan. Join us as we reach for stitching gold and learn a little bit about the history of the modern Olympic Games. Each prompt is 300 stitches or 3 hours, except for bonus prompt number 11. No alternate or stitches or build a challenge stitches available. Be sure and explain your choices. Clear cover photo, everything that goes with it. Number 1, there are 44 track and field events at the Olympics, with the longest track event being the marathon stitch. Being the marathon. Stitch on your widest whip. Not wildest, Lisa, widest.
I read that and thought you're wildest, and I'm thinking wildest because it goes left to right, and I'm thinking, what does it matter left to right with my wildest whip? Yes, widest. All right, well, I think it will be no surprise to anyone who knows my whip collection. What is my widest whip? Now, I'm a little bit disappointed because it is on my zombie run, but that's okay. I can add some extra onto it for the monthly. I'm just trying to find it because I haven't got it up yet. My widest whip is 5 foot 4 inches wide. It is as wide as I am tall. And it is this one here. What have I got? Doing something really bad.
It's a big one. Fairy Tale Village.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah,
Right, that's what I'm going to
do.
Well, my widest whip is the widest because it's actually 2 whips right next to each other. Mine's the Mirabilia Maidens of the Seasons.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm stitching them all in one line. There we go.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So how wide does that give you approximately on your fabric?
To be honest, I haven't measured it. I don't know. I'm stitching it on 32 count. It's wide. How wide's yours? Because we're both doing it the same way.
I'd say it's about 1.5 meters.
Yeah, it's big.
It is big.
That looks great. I've seen people do them 2 together and 2 together and then do them separate. I've never seen them like all together.
As a single. Yeah.
None of I both decided we wanted to do all in a row. Cool. What about you, Beth Ann?
I'm going to share screen. And my widest whip is Christmas Quaker 2 Songs of the Season. It actually beats out one of the long dogs I'm doing until my birthday start in October. This one is 345 wide. And it actually beats out my full coverage too.
Right?
There's a lot going on in that one.
I love it though. It's so pretty.
It is.
Number 2, the field events include the long, high, and triple jumps, hammer, shot put, discus, and javelin. Stitch on a whip that has something that could be used in one of these field events.
Now, I haven't done any pre-planning on this because they only just came out. So I've got to look. I'm thinking, do I have anything with rocks? Because I'm instantly thinking of shot put. Or anything that's long like a pole. I'll have to think for a minute, I think. You got anything coming to mind, Natalie, while I'm looking?
I do. Well, I've got my Shakespeare's fairies. So on the whip, and it's a little hard to see here, there are fairies holding these lights on poles, and I think those poles would make an excellent javelin at a pinch.
That
There we
one's
go.
so-
All right. Well, I'm thinking. I'm now thinking javelin as well. Yeah,
That's what I went with too. It was the most obvious and easiest.
Well, and to make Natalie happy,
Yay.
the ship's masts would make great javelin poles.
Uh-huh.
Or like you could just pull off that bit down there. So I think Anzac from Long Dog I could use for a ship's mast. Yeah.
Yeah. Beth Ann, what are you going to do?
I'm going to have a new start. Minnie the Rusty Cauldron, a Haid by Lisa Parker. And this wrought iron pole that the sign is hanging from, it even has a point to it.
Yeah.
Perfect javelin.
Yeah.
Look at that. That's gorgeous.
You'll be seeing this one a couple of times. It fits for a few prompts.
It does. It's a good one.
Okay. Number 3. Canoeing has been featured at the Olympics since 1924. Stitch on something with water in the design. Make Nat happy again, Lisa.
Make me happy.
Make Nat happy. Make Nat
Everybody
happy.
wants to make me happy.
But I don't want to make Nat happy.
What?
What? I don't want to make Nat happy. I mean, obviously, I could make Nat happy. But I'm just thinking ahead to my double dipping possibilities. So I could do Anzac, or I may decide to go with this one as an alternative, which is my number sampler from All Our Guesties.
And do you know what?
Oh,
I can also see a pole there.
Me too. I know there's a javelin pole right there in the ship's mast. So I've got some flexibility with both of these, which is great.
Yeah, that is great. Well, I'm going to stitch on London. I like to get this one out when I can. And down in the bottom left corner is a puddle. It's a puddle of water.
Okay, I believe you. Everything else is in that piece. Why not a puddle of water?
Exactly.
Beth
okay.
Ann?
Mine is Another New Start. Again, another Haid. Quick Stitch Bath Time by Lisa Parker. And he's sitting in a metal tub, and there's water right there, right behind the purple towel.
I've never seen this one before. How cute.
That is super cute.
I love the expression on this poor cat.
it's a you're kidding, right?
Really? Putting me through this.
If she went in water on her own, she'd be fine. If I physically put her in there, I would get that look.
What we got next?
Okay. Cycling has featured in every Summer Olympics, and in the velodrome, cyclists can reach speeds of 50 miles an hour. Stitch on a whip with something that goes fast.
Okay. Well, as soon as you said cycling, it picked my whip for me. So, although a bike's not, well, I suppose I could put a bike in, couldn't I?
As long as it goes fast, something that goes fast.
Well, if you ride this bike fast, just like you told me in the velodrome, it would go fast. So my world's postage stamps has a bike
There you
that
go.
go fast. I was thinking it might have been a plane from the airmail, but the letters in the airmail in the plane would be going fast.
I love those stamps.
Yeah.
Well, I'm fairly sure a unicorn can go fast, so I'm stitching on Zoe.
Lovely.
Is that the one for your niece?
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay, mine is either going to be the Quick Stitch Bath Time or the Rusty Cauldron because they have cats in them. And cats are like 2-year-old children. They go fast. You can't chase them. You can't catch them, especially when they have something in their mouths they're not supposed to have.
Okay.
Agree.
Number 5. There are several team sports in the summer games: hockey, basketball, volleyball, and rugby events, to name a few. Stitch on a whip with 2 or more people or animals in it.
Okay. Well, I have many choices for this, but just from the ones that I've already touched on that I might want to get some more work done on, my world postage stamp has 2 people in it. My numbers sampler has lots of people. My Anzac has 1 million animals. So one of those would be done.
You want to make Natalie happy again, don't
I
you?
want to make Natalie happy. It will really depend on Semisane. All right, just putting that out there.
Sure. Well, there are 2 butterflies and 2 unicorns in Zoe. So that's going to get a bit more love this month.
That's so
Yay.
pretty.
Yeah.
Mine again is going to be the Rusty Cauldron because this could go a few ways. There's 2 cats, 2 black cats, but if you look at it, there's 2 animals, even though they're stuffed in toys. There's a penguin and a monkey and a horse and a teddy bear. So
Yeah.
it kind of covers.
And is that a second cat just sitting on the cobblestone? So you've
On the
got 2
cobblestone.
cats.
Yeah.
You've got 2 cats.
Yeah, I've got 2 cats. 2 black cats.
Very good.
Number 6. There are 3 overall events that make up the gymnastics program that includes trampolining and artistic gymnastics, with with separate medal events in them. Rhythmic gymnastics is the other event, often remembered for the apparatus that the gymnasts use, such as the ribbon. Stitch on a whip with a border.
Stitch on something with a border.
Yep, stitch on a whip with a border.
Easy. Can't show you, but my new model stitch sampler has a really beautiful border. So I will get some stitches into that.
Lovely. I'm going to work on something that I want to have finished. So it needs work. It needs time. I'm going to stitch on Joy in the Journey.
Oh, that's so pretty.
Yeah.
Mine is a new start that I started yesterday. It's called Mini Dragon in the Morning by Randall Spangler.
Oh, I do like this one.
It has a beautiful gold border with jewels.
It's lovely.
Yes. I'm almost 900 stitches in and I can't stop. Okay, number 7. Weightlifting. For over 100 years was a male-only discipline, with women not contesting the sport until Sydney Games of 2000. Stitch on your largest whip.
Well, it's going to be one of my Hades. I don't know. I really would have to do the maths to see if my longest whip is also my largest. But normally I say it's one of my Hades. And I just can't remember if I'm doing this one regular or supersized. So probably Once Upon a Fairy Tale.
Yep.
It's definitely up there with my largest.
Yeah, same. Hate is my largest one as well. So while Maidens of the Season is probably my widest, this one is my largest, London.
Great.
Mine actually isn't a Hade or a long dog. It is Christmas Quaker 2 Song of the Season. That's my largest so far. Because I put a couple of Hades into UFOs so they don't count anymore.
I'm noticing that all three of us are picking pieces that we can use in multiple ones
Yes.
this month. So I think
Yeah.
that there's
Yes.
a lot about where our heads are at.
Mhm.
Some
Yeah.
months it's like, oh, I've got 12 or 10 different prompts, 10 different ones to use. And sometimes it's, see, I'm definitely in a focused moment at the moment because I'm doing my 21 and 21. And I just had an epiphany while we were talking that I've finished 2 of my 21. So I get
Well,
2 more in.
That's all right.
I know, but I haven't even thought about, I've got them ready. I just have to look and put them in. So
Yeah.
I'm waiting to see if I can spring one of them into the conversation.
definitely.
Let's come back to that because
Yeah.
I've had some thoughts on that as well.
Okay.
Let's keep going, Beth Ann.
What do we got?
Okay, number 8. Swimming is another sport to appear at every game since 1896, and it is a stronghold for the USA, winning over 500 medals in the pool. Stitch on a whip with something that can float.
Well, I could make Natalie happy. It's definitely possible that I could make Natalie happy and do some more on Anzac.
Make me happy.
But if I didn't want to make Natalie happy and do some more on my numbers, I could also stitch on my big red ship of life. But there's also a ship in my sampler. So that my model stitch that I'm doing. So I would say most likely it's going to be my sampler.
Yeah. So I'm going to go taking it to a different sort of idea of what things float. And I'm going to stitch on Zoe because there's butterflies and butterflies float on the air. As well as that, there's that famous quote by Muhammad Ali, float like a butterfly, sting like a bee.
Sting like a bee.
I think if you put all that in your explanation, you'd get it.
Yeah.
I am going to do quick stitch bath time because all the bubbles in the tub, they float on the water.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay, 9. London 2012 saw the beach volleyball event staged on Horse Guards Parade, a venue more used to seeing the Queen, as it is one of the entrances to Buckingham Palace and where Trooping the Colour, a military parade, is held for the Queen's birthday. Stitch on a whip you can link to royalty or a parade.
Okay. Soon as I saw this one, I knew which one I was going to do. My 12 Days of Christmas. One, it's royalty because of the ladies and lords. But secondly, the drummers drumming and the pipers piping are in a parade.
Yep.
Yes.
So 12 Days of Christmas.
Nice one. Well, it should come as no surprise. London, we've got an orb and a scepter on a red cushion right in the center.
Yep, and the Coldstream Guard, the Queen's Coldstream Guard.
Yes, we've got the Queen's Guard up in the top. There's also the Tower of London, which was, where kings and queens were imprisoned before.
Yep.
Because that's exactly what you want, kings and queens to go to jail.
Yes.
Mine is the Rusty Cauldron because you see up here, but down here most, there's the toy soldier.
Ah, yes.
And in the Nutcracker, the toy soldiers do a parade.
And you've got
and also you can do that with royalty because they're modeled after the Queen's Guard. Okay, number 10. The Olympic flag rings represent the 5 continents of Europe, Africa, Asia, America, and Oceania, with the 6 colors of the flag: white for the background and blue, yellow, black, green, and red for the rings, representing at least one of the colors on the flags of every competing nation. For Tokyo 2020, 206 nations entered at least one competitor. Stitch on a whip using floss that are the colors of your nation's flag. Example, for Great Britain, I could use any combination of red, white, and blue to reach the stitch count. You don't have to stitch with every color in your flag.
Okay, well,
So
unfortunately,
meaning you have project that has the 3 colors of your flag, you could do all 300 stitches on one color, but all 3 colors have to be in that chart.
Well, unfortunately, all 3 of us have flags with red, white, and blue.
Red, white, and blue, exactly.
Mhm.
So I instantly thought, right, the easiest place for me to stitch my red, white, and blue is in Raspberry Homecoming, because I don't know if you can see over here, but I'm up to doing a whole bunch of white in the middle of the.
Oh, you're in the sidebar. Okay, yes.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's what I'm going to do.
I'm going to stitch on Peter and the Wolf, which is predominantly in red and blue, but there is also a little bit of white.
Oh, that one's beautiful.
Yeah, I don't stitch on this one very often, and I should.
I don't remember seeing that one. I like
No.
that. For me, it's going to be One Nation from Bygone Stitches.
Yeah.
It's red, white, and blue, but I'm mostly in right here. I haven't gotten to any of the red yet. I'm still in the stars and the blue. So I'm probably going to either do all the stitches in one color, or I'm going to alternate 100 whatever, and then probably it'll be in the blue and the white mostly. But all 3 colors are there.
Whatever you stitch will be good on that file.
Yes.
Yeah, but I haven't gotten to the red yet, and I'm gonna move over. Okay, 11, bonus, time for the medal ceremony. Stitch on a whip of your choice in gold, silver, or bronze metallic floss. 100 stitches for 5 tokens.
Well, lucky for me, I can do that very easily with a bit more stitching. One I've already shown you, which is this one, because the 12 Days of Christmas has got gold thread around the inside of every single square. And
Oof.
I have not done much of it, so easy.
Well,
Just
I'm going.
No, that won't take me long.
No, I will continue stitching on Shakespeare's Fairies, because the wings have got silver thread and there's also bronze thread in there as well. Oh, there we go. You can see that a little bit easier there. There we go.
I don't think I'm going to get to this one. I don't think I'm going to. I have something that has metallic, but I haven't started it yet, and it's not on my radar right now to start. So that's probably going to be one that I don't do. But for the new people that have joined and are watching, you don't need to do that one to be able to get the rewards for September. And if you complete at least 5 prompts, excluding the number 11 bonus prompt, you will receive a bonus of 5 tokens and a 200 stitch discount on our September monthly event to use in any way you'd like, unless otherwise stated. If you complete all prompts 1 through 10, you will receive 4 free passes to use once per week in each of our weekly events with a start date in September. You will receive the token amount for the highest stitch option without having to do the stitches for that prompt.
How lovely.
I love those. They really
I do too.
so much easier.
It's a nice incentive, but it's nice that, yeah, you get the tokens and stuff for doing it, but you get a little extra too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely. Okay. What are we doing in No New Starts, Natalie?
Well, NoNewStarts, we are working on our birthday sales. So we've got where you're welcome to join in. It doesn't have to be your birthday, but what we're doing is we're actually stitching along with members of NoNewStarts who have their birthdays and stitching with projects that they started for their birthday or happen to be special for them. And so this month we've got any project with stitching with the housewives, a flower and strip tote, we're not quite certain what that is. We will find out. And cross-stitch collectibles. So if you've got those and you're part of NoNewStarts, join in with the sale and stitch along with your fellow stitchers.
That's for the first half of the month.
Yes, that's right. First half of the month. And then towards the end of the first half of the month, on the 13th of August, Friday the 13th, lucky for some, we have Whip Frenzy. So get out all your projects, get them all lined up and stitch through as many projects as you can within 24 hours. It's great fun to touch on heaps of projects. And then meantime, we're still stitching on Leo. So with Leo, we are looking for projects that have one or all of these following 4 elements. We have fire as our element because Leo is a fire sign. Leo is also a lion. So if you've got a lion in any of your projects, stitch along with that. Peridot, which is a gemstone. What's a peridot look like?
Like a khaki sort of color green.
Okay, so a brownie green.
Mm.
Okay. And gladioli. So bring out your best Dame Edna Everage.
Exactly.
Darlings.
Bring out the gladdies, darlings. Now all the Americans going,
No,
what
it's petals.
the hell?
It's petals. Possums and petals.
Possums, yes.
Okay. And so that's pretty much where we've also got Scrabble on the 18th as well.
And the 15th is a very important date. It is our last WIP check-in.
Ooh,
So
yes.
it's still in the main challenge, of which there is still
30 odd
ish. Yep. Quite a few people. Your WIP check-in needs to be done. If you have fallen off the wagon, please just put a comment on the starting photo of your album to say you've dropped out, so that your marker doesn't bother having to look through your album because they know you're already done. And people who are still in, you need to show the progress you've done since the March check-in. That's
right. And interesting, in the last 2 weeks, we've had 4 people drop out.
Starting to ramp up.
It's starting to ramp up. It's getting hot for the people who are still in it. There's still a good number of people who are yet to use their freebie, but there's plenty who have. Yep. So, yep.
Awesome.
There we go. And on the 24th of August, we move from Leo to Virgo.
And we'll go through that in the week.
We'll worry about it later.
Yep, definitely. Okay, and we also have got full coverage fanatics. What's happening with them?
Yes, full coverage fanatics. We have the bookshelf challenge for this month is chick lit, and the themes are projects with women and girls. Do you have anything like that, Lisa? A full coverage project with women or girls?
Oh, do I have anything like that? Let me think. One moment while I get it up. I'm pretty sure I do. And it just happens that I would be working on this rather a lot, because this is my extra credit for Crystal Academy and one of my zombie runs. And there's an awful lot of women and girls stitching in a stitch in time. How many stitches do I want to do on that?
Plenty.
Plenty, yes.
Sorry, I haven't got that detail to hand.
That's all right.
Coverage fanatics, events, bookshelf challenge. Here we go. We want for my not so perfect life 4,390 stitches. Me Before You 3,690 stitches, or Little Fires Everywhere 3,380 stitches.
Well, my goal is 1,000 a week. So
I think you've got that in the bag.
There.
Yeah. What about you, Beth Ann? Do you have a full coverage project with women or girls?
Yes. Minnie the Rusty Cauldron. There is a lady or girl doll in the toy shop window.
Mhm.
And since it's my new one of my new ones, I want to get some progress on it before it goes away and others move into the rotation. So
Yeah, fair enough. Well, mine's a little bit left of field, but it's actually still full coverage. It's Silver Moon Tea. It's a Mirabilia, but it is full coverage.
stunning.
Uh-huh.
I saw that finished in another group, and the beading on that is
Okay. Then there is also another event that is on for full coverage fanatics on the 13th to 15th, which is Less is More, where you are going to work on your full coverage project with that has the least number of colors. So yeah, there we go. So if you've got a full coverage project that has few colors, that's the one you choose for this. As it happens, my Silver Moon Tea would also fit into that category. So I could potentially have a weekend of Silver Moon Tea.
That would be awesome. That would be fantastic.
I'd really get that pushed along a long way. Oh, and it's also got a border.
Oh, nice.
I could make it double dip.
I don't have a full coverage with not many colors, but I'm doing my full coverage extreme cross country, so I'm only using black. Doesn't quite count, but
it does not count.
In my mind, it doesn't have many colors. It only has black.
yeah. Yeah. No. No.
No. Fair enough. And that's what we've got for full coverage fanatics.
Okay. Well, then we also have got lots happening with Semisane. We were hoping to have the lovely Casey with us today, but we haven't been able to catch her at the moment. So if I can catch her, I'll snaffle her in at the end for her expert information on the different events. But in the meantime, you're going to have to just put up with us. So there's a lot happening in Semisane this month. It's an absolutely no semi about it this month.
Fully insane mode.
Fully insane month. So let's start with the easy ones, the August Focus Challenge. So in the August Focus Challenge, you're going to post your progress every 1,000 stitches on any piece you like, focusing on it for August. Everyone could do that. There's the whip days. The whip days, today is Girlfriend's Day. Anything come to mind to stitch for Girlfriend's Day? I would do my stitch in time. Probably the ones we just talked about, but.
Girlfriends. I would say my Shakespeare's Fairies. It's a group of 3 women, female fairies, going off to a party.
I'm going to go out on a limb. Dragon in the morning. He's drinking either tea, hot chocolate, or coffee, but girls get together and drink coffee all the time. It's stretching it, but I'm going to try.
And as usual, though, we don't have any jurisdiction on anything other than NoNewStarts to say whether it's right or wrong, but it gives you an idea of the way we think. And that's why we like to do these videos with 3 of us, because you get 3 different thoughts.
Yeah.
Sometimes we think alike and sometimes we're very different, and I love it.
But more than once we think alike, and it's scary.
Yes. Yes.
Especially when it comes to pleasing me, Anzac.
Do Anzac. I can't fit Anzac into Girlfriends, although maybe the sheep are girlfriends.
Maybe they are.
Don't know. You've got to work on a whip. Well, no, you can't do that for Girlfriend's Day, Beth Ann, because it says work on a whip with at least 2 girls.
Okay, well, you don't have to do every one of them.
No. That's what I was about to say.
I do have one in there that is going, that's perfect for it.
And you don't have to count. This is a non-counting event for those of you that like to not count. You just show some progress, and you only need one of them to count. But some of us like to do all of them if we can. The second one is Purple Heart Day, which is on the 7th. Work on a whip with hearts or stitch with purple.
Zoe has little hearts.
Oh, yeah, Zoe does.
And it's got lots of purple in it too.
Yeah.
Hearts and purple. Anything come to your mind for you, Beth Ann?
Yep. Gonna share screen. I'm doing the yarn silhouettes from Joan Elliott, and I'm doing it on a pink mottled fabric, but I'm stitching the entire thing in royal purple sulky.
And there's that giant heart at the top.
Yep.
Yeah, there is.
Yep.
I love it when we see things in whips that we haven't noticed.
Exactly. And I could probably do it for girlfriends because there's kids and girls
Oh, yes.
all
There you
over the
go.
place. So
There you go.
Any of them could be two girlfriends.
yeah, this one is, I love this one.
Okay, I'm having a quick look through my whips. Hearts. Remember, I'm limiting myself to my 21 in 21 at the moment, and I'm not straying from that because I haven't had a chance to do, got it, much with it. So this one here is one, actually, it'll come up in a minute, but this is one of my, pieces. And if you have a look, there's a heart up the top of pins and needles.
Oh, that's
Look,
pretty.
there we go.
So I found a heart, so that's great. So I could do that for my pins and needles. In the Semisane events, you can double dip across the different events. So that's good. You'll like this one. Oh, Beth Ann, you're not going to like this. You're not going to be able to pick a piece.
Yeah.
Black Cat Appreciation Day. Work on a whip with any kind of cat.
Meow. Mini Rusty Calder, and there's 2 black cats in that. So
Definitely
There we go.
black cats there.
I would choose, I only have one whip with cats. One. Can you believe it? Just one.
Wow.
Anyway, it has a black cat. Night walks down.
oh, that's so pretty.
Yep. It also has a border. It also has more than 2 animals in it. So, I could double dip it.
I find
it's nice to have different options, more options.
And I like doing these videos as well for myself because I often have them pre-planned. So you get to see a very generic how we're thinking. But I tell you something, it doesn't mean it's what I end up doing.
Exactly. I've done that.
Mind, and then as the month, pans out, although I do try and knock the monthlies over early. But this month, that won't be the case for me. All right, for me, another one of my 21 in 21 and I think zombie, pieces is Spooky Hollow by the Tiny Modernist. And there is a black cat, at least 2 black cats in there. So that makes that one easy for me. This one Natalie will love, Honeybee Day.
Oh, yes. Yes. And this is where I can double dip across to one of my zombie run pieces. I have Sleeping Bee by the Blue Flower.
Yes, lovely. You're making
yes.
I want to do the Tudor Bee one.
It's a lovely one.
Do you have any bees, Beth Ann?
No.
I don't have. I probably do, but not that's coming to mind. So I won't be doing all 4 of them this month. Okay.
No, I'll probably just do 2.
Well, what else do we have? Scavenger hunts continuing. I'm not doing that, so I can't tell you anything about it. All right, there's 2 other events, and they're quite big events. The first one is and is an event that is based on the card game of and each day there's going to be a card drawn, and everyone has to stitch on whatever the card tells them to. And if Lucy calls everybody has to stitch 100 stitches on all 4 of their chosen pieces. So what have you chosen for your pieces, Beth Ann?
Number 1 is Opening Gambit by Long Dog. Whoops. That's number 1. Number 2 is Mini Dragon in the Morning. I'm gonna share screen because all the other three are in the thing, and then I can just go. Mini dragon in the morning. Nope, can't do it that way. And the Christmas Quaker songs of the season, which I love stitching on this. And then the Year in Silhouettes is my third. So those are my four.
Cool. Natalie, what about you?
Well, I will be stitching my, I wonder whether I've got the cover picture here for Newcastle Bouquet. It does not look like it. So I'm going to be using my zombie run pieces. Because I am a zombie, I only have to do 200 stitches per prompt. So if I treated the where something is called, and I, instead of stitching 100, I stitch 200, I will actually really progress all of my projects really well. So the first one is St. Andrews, which I don't have a cover photo of in hard copy, so I shall bring up this one. Here we go. Here's St. Andrews. That's what it looks like.
I love that.
Yes, you do. I'm also stitching on Sleeping Bee by Blue Flower. I am also stitching on Newcastle Bouquet by Teresa Kogut. I'm now about halfway through.
That border is gorgeous.
It's big too.
Yeah,
there's a lot of
it's big, but it's beautiful.
I'm stitching this.
That's one thing about samplers I love are the striking borders.
Yeah. So there's those. Oops, and I've dropped. Sorry, my cover. There we go. And Unicorn Tapestry. Yes, that is the right way up, by Tiny Modernist. So those are my 4 pieces.
Okay. So my 4 pieces. You're going to go a bit blind as I flick through my album to find them. My number 1 is chosen to make Natalie happy, and always want to make Natalie happy.
That's right.
I do have a goal to try and finish this year, so it needs to get quite a bit of love. My number 2, we also have seen already today somewhere. Probably scrolled past it. Yes, there it is the Spooky Hollow by the Tiny Modernist. I tried to pick ones that were heading towards being closest to finished. Like, they're not really close, but ones I want to progress. My third one is my oldest whip that I really want to get some finish on, my Numbers by All Our Yesteryears, which has progressed a lot further than that photo, but anyway. And the last one has also come up in my choices today. What a surprise, because I do like to double dip as much as possible, is my Pins and Needles. Now, the first spin for today has been done, and you have to stitch 100 stitches on whip number 4. So that's really good. Each day, though, you have to keep track of the numbers yourself. There's no code words, but you don't have to stitch them on the day they're drawn, but you have to stitch them in order.
Yeah.
So if you fall a bit behind because you've got, and you've got to do all 4 or whatever, you can sort of have a big day and catch it up on the weekend or whatever. So that's really cool. I appreciate that. But you've got to keep track of it yourselves to do. All right, so there you go. So that's what's happening with Now, the other game is a new one, and it's one I've wanted to do for a long time. So it's Semisane's Survivor, and it's based on the TV show of Survivor. And basically, just like in the game, will you survive till the end? It's a competition. It's a high stitch count competition. It's a team-based competition, but as with the real game, there are eliminations. So the first event has been launched to start in a few hours' time. There are code words because they don't want anyone cheating and pre-stitching. So they are releasing the event information 4 hours before the actual start time, so you can strategize and plan in your team of 9 or 10 people. We had to all pre-nominate, and they're all random mixed teams. I like random mixed teams because I get to meet new friends, which is lovely. And basically, for this first challenge, getting off to a great start with the best survivors and teams, there's 2 phases, reward and elimination. So just like the TV show, for reward, your goal is to be the first team to finish the stitching round and then get immunity and a wild card. So a round is each member of the team takes turns stitching 500 stitches. So you've got to stitch, like I might start and do my 500. When I finish, then Natalie can start and finish. Then Beth Ann can start and finish. And they're posting different code words every couple of hours. So you can't just cheat and all start your 500 now. You've got to wait. Your turn will be, you've got to start at the right hour with the right password, which is pretty cool. And they did say that having people in different time zones would be helpful. And I can see that that is very helpful.
Yeah, that would be a good.
Because you could get started now. Beth Ann, you're about to head off to bed after we've finished, but Lisa could get started now. No, yeah. But yeah, Lisa could get started now.
Yeah, and then I could pick it up tomorrow when I get up. Exactly.
That's right.
Or if there was someone right now who was in America and is a late night stitcher, they are best to start now and do their 500. And then I would pick up from them and do my 500 tonight before I go to bed. And then by the time I go to bed, you guys will be getting up for the morning. And if you have a European, they slot in the middle too. So it's interesting to see. Now, if you don't win the elimination, I mean, if you go to the council sort of thing for elimination. And that is another thing where you're going to need to stitch. You all start stitching at the same time in your team. So it doesn't seem to be a bit of the nasty blind sighting elimination. It's purely a stitch count. So if the 3 of us started stitching right now, when we finish our 500 stitches, we're done. The last 3 people to finish their 500 stitches go into elimination.
Right.
And I believe that's a random wheel out of those 3. So if you're a slower stitcher, you're more likely to get eliminated early.
Yeah.
But it depends, because it depends on what time they start that round. If they start that round right when I'm going to bed, I'm going to be pretty slow. So it's going to be interesting. It's going to be fun. So watch the space and see what's happening.
Oh, good luck.
Thank you. And Mythological Stitchers will also have some monthly challenges, but we're a bit early and they haven't got posted yet. So that's what I know of happening this month. So everyone, it's going to be a fun stitching August.
It's going to be a busy month.
It sure is. All right. Well, thanks for joining us, ladies, and thanks for watching, everyone. Remember, click the subscribe button and you'll get notified about any future videos. There will be the weekly homework one coming at you tomorrow. All right. Bye.
Goodbye.
Bye.